In Project ID, we want to shape
Recording
good
in
student
progress.
mindsets and create student leaders. With our programs, students will have a voice and are empowered to create change in their own communities. So Project ID designs and runs student empowerment programs, which focuses on three things: leadership, values, and career aspirations, particularly for students who come from challenging backgrounds like B40 communities. So we know that students who come from challenging backgrounds face more hurdles in achieving a better life compared to their affluent peers. We also know that studies have shown mindsets are the single most important factor in predicting student achievement. So our mission is to serve these high-need communities by organizing long-term high-impact programs to develop student leaders within their communities to lead self and lead others. So when we speak to students about their ambitions and goals, they often can articulate it, but a lot of times they're not quite aware on how to achieve it. So one of our capstone programs is Aspirasi, which is designed to inculcate a set of values, shape mindsets, teach a set of skills to achieve their career aspirations, and giving them exposure to the world out there. So in Project ID, we also run CSR initiatives and student development programs for various organizations, whether it is corporate, foundations, or other institutions. One such program is Kids Take Over, where we collaborated with Ministry of Education and UNICEF. This is where we got 40 students from all over Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak, to come together to create an anti-bullying school policy. At the end of this program, our students presented to Parliament in front of lawmakers, such as the then Deputy Prime Minister, as well as the then Deputy Minister of Education, on their recommendations of what students want to end bullying in school.
I'm young as the day when the sun first begins to rise.
And I'm not alone. I stand tall and I stand proud.
On the shoulders of giants, parents, teachers, friends, family, who have taught me in everything they know, who believe in me so much that I started to believe in myself.
Because alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much more.
And I'm ready to lead and build a nation. Will you join me?
Okay, thanks for the video, Alex, and welcome everyone to today's Kita Connect session with Farah Ann. Selamat datang semua kepada sesi Kita Connect hari ini bersama Farah Ann. Alright, I see some of you guys have your cameras on as well, so that's great. So if you want to keep your camera on during the session, that's allowed as well. And I encourage you guys to open up your cameras so we can interact with Farah Ann as well. Okay, so before we go on any further, just want to let you guys know we have Lucy with us today, who is a sign language interpreter to make sure today's session is inclusive to everyone. All right. And of course, our session today will be streamed on Facebook Live. So if you have any friends who are unable to join the Zoom session, they can go onto UNICEF's or Project ID's Facebook to check out the session as well. So just let's say a quick hi to all the Facebook participants. Hi, everyone. Hi, Facebook Live. All right. I see we have some more people coming in as well. So of course, you guys are wondering, wait, aren't we here today to meet Farah Ann? Wait, who is this talking right now? So just letting you guys know, I will be your moderator for today. Hi guys, my name is Alia. I'm 17 years old. I'm from SMK Sungai Tapang, Kuching, Sarawak. I am a member of Project ID Student Outreach Team and also a UNICEF Kita Connect champion. So talking about Project ID, talking about Kita Connect, UNICEF, let's get to know a little bit about all these organizations that are bringing this program to you guys today. So first of all, what is Kita Connect? So a quick look through, Kita Connect is a year-long online program that helps youths engage in meaningful conversations, develop soft skills, and also become the drivers of change within our community. Kita Connect merupakan sebuah program atas talian sepanjang tahun yang membolehkan kita menyertai perbualan bermakna, membangunkan kemahiran insaniah dan menjadi pemacu perubahan dalam komuniti kita. Next on, Kita Connect is also under UNICEF Malaysia, who is an international intergovernmental organization that delivers programs in Malaysia that focuses on the rights and well-being of every child and adolescent. So, UNICEF pula merupakan sebuah organisasi antara kerajaan antarabangsa yang menyediakan program di Malaysia yang fokus kepada hak dan kesejahteraan semua kanak-kanak dan remaja. Last but not least, we have Project ID, who is an organization focusing on high-impact empowering programs for students all over Malaysia. So they focus on leadership, core values, and career aspirations. All right, so that's just a brief through some of the introduction to all of the organizations that are bringing the session to you guys today. Now, moving on, since we're using Zoom for today's session, I'm just going to briefly go through some Zoom functions that we'll be using throughout the session. So the first one, we have the unmute button. I see all of the participants are muted right now, so that's great. If you're not talking, make sure to mute yourself so that there's no background noises, etc. Next on, we have the chat box function. So throughout the session, you can type in the chat box, you can say hello to each other, and also express some of your opinions in the chat box as well. So last function that we have is a reaction function. So actually, if you press on the reaction function, there are a lot of emojis that you guys can use. So why don't you guys show me some reactions right now? Okay, let's see. Some of you guys are giving me hearts, thumbs up, claps. Thank you, everyone. And also, thank you so much for you guys who are opening your cameras. I feel much less lonely with you guys here with me today. All right. Of course, next on, we have a few guidelines to make sure we have a good online session today. So first one is to accept our differences. We're of all ages. We come from different places, so we must accept our differences. And secondly, to care for one another's feelings and thoughts during the session, and of course to respect each other's opinion. So an easy way to remember this is Asian chicken rice. So accept, care, respect, Asian chicken rice. So before asking a question or before typing down something, just remember Asian chicken rice, then you remember accept, care, and respect. Okay, so moving on, we have the agenda for today. So just now we had a short introduction on Zoom functions, guidelines, Project ID, etc. And then next on, we'll be having an opening speech by UNICEF's Malaysian representative. And then after that, we'll have a short energizer to get to know our speaker for today, Farah Ann. And then we'll get to the most awaited part, is a sharing by Miss Farah Ann herself. And then after that, we'll have a Q&A session for all the participants here and on Facebook Live. So we'll be closing the session at about 10 p.m. And even if we go over time, it'll probably be like 10 p.m. and stuff like that. So not too far off time. So without further ado, let's welcome our UNICEF Malaysia representative, who is also a special representative to Brunei Darussalam, who has 25 years experience with UNICEF and other UN agencies. Let's welcome Dr. Rashid Mustafa Sawa for his opening speech. Dr. Rashid, are you there?
I'm here, absolutely. Alia, really thank you very much for starting with a very good energy, and I'm very happy to see so many young people, so many friends in the screen. I wish that we could have it in a venue so that we could interact more humanly. But I think that those days are very close, and we will be very happy to host you sometime whenever possible. But let me start with today. Today is my day and UNICEF Engagement Day with young people, because this is the third engagement with young people today. We had the 2 engagement with young people, the morning and afternoon, on environment and climate engagements. We did a soft launch on a platform called empowering environment and living labs. So, and then now I'm talking with you on Kita Connects, which is a great platform to know people and to meet people. So I'm really, really happy, sincerely, honestly, to be here today, and of course to invite, to see, to know Farah Ann a bit more. I'm looking forward, although I have watched YouTube, I have read about her, but I really wanted to hear from her. How is her life? How is a daily day, and how she was feeling in Tokyo in a very strange time of the world. I really would like also to thank our partner, Project ID, to be with us and gathering, bringing young people together with other partners, so that this is not an easy time, but I'm really very happy to have the partner, Project ID, and being together. I don't want to really say much about Kita Connect because you all are champions like Alia in Kita Connect. Kita Connect is one of the successful connecting platform that we do have, and it has got a reputation even in UNICEF headquarters at New York. And we are trying to amplify your good work, your good participation in other countries, so that Malaysia always stay champions, as we say Malaysia Boleh. So we're really happy, and I would invite you all to engage each other, engage with positive role models like Farah Ann today, through Kita Connect. I also would appreciate, would encourage you to voice your opinions on issues on that engage, that's linked with your life, and also to motivate others, to motivate those our peers that are less privileged, or they do have different way of limitations. So without further ado, as we all are waiting to hear from Farah, I wish you a very, very, very good evening today. Happy to have Lucy helping us to connect as well, which is very linked to Kita Connect, yeah. So thank you very much. Very good luck to all of us, and back to Alia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid, for your speech. All right, so moving on. Are you guys excited to meet Farah Ann? Let's see some reactions. Okay. Oh, I see some of you guys giving me claps, so that's great. All right. But before we get into Farah Ann sharing later on, we're gonna have a short energizer to get to know Farah Ann. So we have two questions right here. So the first question: Farah Ann was born in. Farah Ann dilahirkan di A. Selangor, B. Kedah, C. Penang, or D. Johor. Let's see. Type your answers in the chat. Let's go. Oh, everyone is saying A. Selangor, A. Oh, Selangor maybe A. Okay, so we'll be seeing the answers later on. But now on to the second question. Farah Ann started gymnastics at how many years old? Farah Ann menceburi bidang gimnastik pada usia berapa? A. 10 years old, B. 5 years old, C. 3 years old, or D. 7 years old. Some people are saying C, some people are saying B, some people are saying D. Okay, we have quite a lot of mixed answers right here. So let's jump into the answers really quickly. So yes, Farah Ann was born in Subang Jaya, Selangor. So for you guys who answered Selangor, that is correct. And she took up gymnastics at the age of 3. So actually, I can't imagine being 3 years old and doing gymnastics. I'm sure when I was 3, I couldn't even walk properly, so that's amazing. And Farah Ann has actually won 12 medals with 7 golds in SEA Games since 2011. And Farah Ann is the third Malaysian gymnast to qualify for the Olympics. So this is just a little bit of energizer to get to know Farah Ann. Now, let's welcome Farah Ann to today's session. Farah Ann, are you there?
Hi
Hello, Farah
everyone.
Ann.
How are you all? I'm so excited to be here today, and I see so many faces. I actually see a few of faces from the last time I did a talk with a VID, and I'm so excited to see you back here. And thank you so much for having me. I am really excited to be here with all of you today.
All right, thank you, Farah Ann, and I'm sure all of you guys are excited. So, Farah Ann, you're allowed to share your slides right now.
All right.
I'm just gonna stop sharing. All right, there you go. The floor is yours.
All right, it's mine. Okay. Technical difficulties and share. Awesome. Okay. So, hi, I'm Farah Ann, and I am an Olympian. So Olympian of the Year, Kita. So that is a little clip of me during the Olympics in Tokyo 2020. And the sport that I do is artistic gymnastics. And if you can see on the side of the screen, that's one of my greatest quotes. The things that I live by is the greatest weapon you need is self-belief. Because I think that is very important to have, even if you're an athlete, a student, or whatever you do in your life, you always need to believe in yourself. Oops. And so on the agenda today, I'll be first explaining who I am, what I do, and who really is. Some of the key habits that I have in my life, and also my Tokyo 2020, and especially because it was in 2021 journey. So who am I? So I am a gymnast, an artistic gymnast. I am a daughter. I am a friend. I have teammates. I also have a Barbie doll. I am sometimes a part-time model, and I've also graduated from university. So I started gymnastics, as you all know. Most of you got the correct answer, which I was 3 years old when I started gymnastics. I have been with the national team since I was 8 years old. I'm already 27 this year. And right now, I'm currently at the Bukit. That is my family from Jaya, and I have been representing Asia since I was 10 years old. So the first competition that I participated was Asian School Games in Singapore, and I was 10 years old at the time. I had gone to Sukma, and that was where I was selected. And it has been a wonderful journey being a gymnast. I've also done many things as an athlete. I've gone to SEA Games, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, and finally I've lived my dream of qualifying for the Tokyo 2020, and I got to perform at the biggest stage in the world for sports at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. So that was really exciting for me, and I know that, and hold on for a little bit, I'll explain more about that, and this is who I am. Oops, skip the hit, sorry. And some of the habits that have helped me succeed. So the one thing that for me, I think is the most important habit that anyone needs is goal setting and goal planning. So the reason I put both goal setting and planning is, first, you need to goal set, which is, for me, for example, was qualifying for the Tokyo. So that is, I set my goals, but then we need to plan. How do I get that? It's such a humongous dream. So I need to know, okay, so where do I start? First, it starts with training, and then knowing, how do I qualify? And then once I've qualified, how do I make sure that my body is the best that it can be, to make sure that my mental is prepared? So that's why goal setting and planning is very important. I myself have a planner where I actually plan my weeks, I plan my month, I plan competitions, and I plan my year, and I also plan very big goals. So for example, macam next year is SEA Games, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games. So I'm already planning this year on how to perform next year. So that is a habit that I've always had. And one thing, a little secret for you guys, is every time I go for a competition, I actually write down my goals on a piece of paper and I put them in my wallet. And so I always have it with me. But not just that, kadang-kadang I will put on my phone. I letak my goals in my phone, or I will put also, I have it in my room. So I need to see my goals to know that these are my goals and the steps I need to take to get them. Because if you don't see them, then how are you supposed to make sure that you want to achieve them? So the second habit that I think that is so important for me is a healthy lifestyle. And so what does that mean, being healthy? One, it doesn't just mean eating healthy. For me, as an athlete, of course, I know a lot of people want to know, is I eat healthily. I have a full meal, so I add a carbohydrate, I add minerals, proteins, vegetables. I drink a lot of water, and as an athlete, of course, I have additional food that I take. So I take amino acids, which helps with muscle recovery, and also sometimes I take protein to increase, because protein helps build your muscle and also helps recover. So sometimes I do take extra. But these are all to make sure that my body works well. So eating healthy, and of course, sometimes, and most important, I have what we call the soul food. So yes, I do love cakes. I sometimes eat McDonald's. I sometimes have a chocolate sundae. I have French fries, and sometimes you need that. Your body needs it, and I do have it maybe once a week, or like twice, or like once a month. So it depends. The nearer to a competition, the less I eat like that, because I need to make sure that the food that I eat becomes the fuel for my body. But a healthy lifestyle also means I need to make sure that I sleep. I take about 8 to 10 hours of sleep every day, because as an athlete and also as a human, we need sleep to recover, and also to make sure that our brains are very sharp. And also, I take care of my mental health. And of course, during the pandemic, it was very difficult, even for me. I did have a little bit of anxiety, and I did go to see my psychologist, and she recommended me using the breathing technique to write down what I was feeling, and then also to call my family and friends. So this is very important, and I know that everyone, especially in this pandemic, has been feeling that. So it is very important to take care of yourself and to make sure that you are doing okay. And so I had to go through that as well. I talked to people, I talked to my family. I also took time for myself, because mental health is very important. And I also needed to have very strong mental health for when I compete. I do visualization, which means that before a competition, I actually sit and I do all my routines in my head. So I have to do my routines so that they're perfect in my head, so that my brain tells my body that it knows what it's doing and I know what it's doing. So we have visualization and breathing techniques. And I also wanted to up my game. So I read a lot of books about how other athletes also increase their mental strength. And so it was also to write down my goals and have them, and to repeat this very specific set of goals that I needed to train my brain for every single day. And I think the most important habit that I have learned is learning from mistakes. I think that this is such an important skill. So I'll tell you a story that I went through. So during the SEA Games in 2015, I was slated so I was in the finals for the uneven bars, and I came in ranked first. And I knew that if I did my routines, that if I did it as well as I could, that I could bring back the gold medal. But unfortunately, I fell. And I was so upset that I couldn't stop crying, and I cried. I actually still won the bronze medal, but I was so upset with myself that I couldn't perform as well. And I was so happy that my teammate, Tan Ingwe, she won the gold medal, but I could not forgive myself for not doing my best. And I remember going back to the hotel room, and I was still in tears, and I was taking a shower, and I just could not accept that I had made a mistake. And my teammate at that time, she told me, hey, you know what? sometimes it's just not your day. Sometimes it's not for you. You try as hard as you can, but sometimes it doesn't work out. And that really hit me. And I learned that, you know what? Sometimes things don't go as planned. And what do we do next? Do we just sit and cry in my room the whole night? Which is okay to do. Really, it's fine to let out all your emotions. But the next day, am I going to just feel sorry for myself again? Or am I going to get back up? Because I still had another finals to go out there and to do my best. And so I went out there the next day and I did my best and I brought back the gold medal for the flock size. But in 2017, I was also slated for the uneven bars medal. And I really wanted to bring home the gold. You know, it's in Malaysia. I want to do my best. And I fell again on the same skill. And I did not bring back the medal for Malaysia. But this time I learned, you know, it's fine. It's okay. I'm going to just do my best for my next event. And this is life. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. And finally, in 2019, I really said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do my best and hope and pray, because I had done all the preparation. I did the goal setting, the goal planning. I did my trainings. And finally, thank God, I won the gold medals for the uneven bars in Philippines in 2019. But throughout this whole process as an athlete, I learned that, you know, I sometimes have to say, I am not correct. I am wrong. This is my mistake and I need to own up to it. Because sometimes I feel that we blame a lot of people for our mistakes, and that's not right. Sometimes we have to take accountability for our actions. And I think that's very important. And that has really helped me develop and grow as an athlete and also as a person. So these are some of the very important habits that I have used to be able to help me succeed as an athlete and as a person. And I think that I really, really attribute this to helping me be the person that I am today. And so, of course, everyone is here to hear about Tokyo 2020 and my experiences at the Tokyo. So in qualifying, I qualified in the 2019 World Championships. I came in 16 out of the 20 qualifiers, so I qualified there. And at this competition, I was the most nervous, but also the most calm. And I remember the bus ride going to the competition arena. And the day before, when people say there was butterflies in your stomach, I think there were elephants in my stomach. That was how I felt. I was so nervous in the room and I couldn't contain myself. But in the morning, I just told myself, I have prepared. I have done everything that I can to get to this point. And now I want to go out there and enjoy myself, do what I love, which is gymnastics. This is what I'm passionate about, and this is why I'm here. And so I went out there and did the best, and I qualified for Tokyo. And so then now we're coming for training, and the pandemic happened. The world shut down. Tokyo was postponed for a year, and so I had to train for 3 months at home. So I still trained through 2 to 3 hours at home. We had training programs that our coach gave us every single day, except for Sundays. Normally when we train, normally in the gym, I train 6 days a week. 2 or 3 days, I will train double sessions. So on those days, I train about 3 to 6 hours. And on one session day, I train 3 to 4 hours. So that's my usual schedule. I've had that schedule since I was 7 years old. And so during high school, my schedule was training from 7 to 8:30. I had class from 9:30 to 2:30. Then I had training from 3 to 7. Then I had night classes from 8:30 to 10. So that was Monday to Fridays. And on Saturdays, I had training 9 to 1. So that was my usual schedule. But during the pandemic, it was very different. And then we were very lucky to be able to come back to Bukit Jalil, and we had quarantine-based training. So that means I couldn't go home for about 3-4 months. I had to stay at Bukit Jalil. I was very lucky that my friends, my teammates and coaches were there to support me, but it was a very difficult time. I think with training and also all the competitions that I was supposed to go to prep for the Olympics was cancelled. And also there were also talks that the Olympics was going to be cancelled. And I was just very much trying to be positive and just do my very best. So with everything around, I just did my very best for trainings. I had weight training. I do gymnastics training. I have recovery. We have ice bath, massages, my physiotherapy every single day I went. So it was a very long journey, but I was so happy to be able to say that I was in the fittest position in my entire life, and now competing at Tokyo 2020. So competing at Tokyo is the most amazing thing. So you get there and you see all the Olympic rings with the so if you don't know what the Olympic rings mean, it means that it's the 5 continents interlinked together. So that is what the rings mean. And it really was so special to see all the athletes from the entire world in the athletes village, and to experience all the high class athletes, to see them, to talk with them, to be friends with them. You know, we're all there together and everyone has different experience, and it was so amazing to be able to talk with them and prepare, and then finally competing, to go out there and to have the Malaysian flag on my shoulder, to know that I'm representing Malaysia at the biggest games in the world is the most amazing feeling that I've ever felt. And to be very honest, after I finished competing, I felt so proud of myself for finally achieving my dreams, and to knowing that with all the hard work and everything, all the setbacks and all the injuries, that I'm finally here and I'm finally being able to achieve my dreams. And it was the most amazing experience. It's so different from other games because yes, I've been to Asian Commonwealth, but being at the Olympics, it really is a whole other experience where you see all the Olympic rings and the feeling is so much different. Even though there were no spectators, obviously that was a little bit different. There was nobody cheering on. It was a bit surreal because you want to wave to the crowd, but there's nobody to wave with. So that was a bit funny, but I knew that my parents, my friends, they were all supporting me, and all the Malaysian public was supporting me. So I really went out there and did the very best, and I would never trade it for anything in the world. And my last slide is I'm proud to be Malaysian. So being an athlete, this really, really resonates with me because when I go out there, I'm not Farah Ann. I am the Malaysian gymnast. I represent my country. And I'm so proud to be able to go out there and say that I'm Malaysian, I'm from Malaysia. And also when people ask me about why do you look, sometimes we go as a team, you're like, why do you all look so different? I'm saying because this is what Malaysia is that we are different racially, ethnically. We have different races, religion, we have different cultures, but this is what makes us who we are. We learn to respect other people's cultures. We learn to respect each other, and we learn to live as well together. So that is why I'm so proud to be part of a country that honors that. And I think that every single person in Malaysia who is truly Malaysian really understands that concept. And that is why I'm so proud to wear my colors and to have the Malaysian flag on my back and on my shoulder when I'm competing. And I am so excited to be able to call myself Malaysian. And even though I'm mixed, yes, my mom is Canadian and my dad is Malaysian, but when I go out there, that doesn't matter because I introduce myself. And when people ask me, I say I am Malaysian. And that is why I'm so proud to be representing our great nation. Thank you.
Wow. I just want to say, wow, that was amazing, Farah Ann. Thank you so much for that sharing. And we're actually 10 minutes ahead of time. So we're just going to allocate that time for the Q&A session, which will be right after this. Okay, yeah, I see some participants are saying very meaningful sharing in the chat box, so that's great. All right, so now on to, since Farah Ann has already shared all about her journey, I'm sure all of you guys have a lot of questions on hand to ask Farah Ann. So now we're going on to the Q&A session for both participants on Zoom and Facebook Live. But before you guys start typing questions in the chat box, we actually have 2 ways of asking questions during today's session. So the first way is by using the raise hand function. So like I mentioned earlier, when we talked about the Zoom functions, you can use the raise hand function to raise hand, and then I will call some of you guys out, and you can unmute yourself and ask Farah and your question. So the second way is using Slido. So there will be a Slido link in the chat box that you guys can click, or you can scan the QR code right here to post your question. And for deaf participants who are in the call, you're allowed to sign your question, and then Lucy will forward your question to Farah Ann. Okay, I see some of you guys are already raising your hands, so I guess you guys can't wait to ask your questions. But bear in mind when asking your questions, Asian chicken rice, accept, care, respect. So make sure that your question is appropriate so that we have a better session today. Okay, so let's get the first question from the floor. Let me see. Jess, okay, I actually, she was actually the first one to raise her hand. She was like so quick. I said, raise it. I was like, oh, so fast. All right, Jess, would you like to unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so hi everyone, good evening, and thank you so much, Farah. It's so exciting to actually meet you virtually. I'm actually a bit nervous to ask the question. Okay, so I'll just jump right to it. I have two questions if you don't mind. So the first one is you talk about mental health and how you experience anxiety before the competition. What are your mindfulness technique, and do you have any daily affirmations that you tell yourself to just kind of ground yourself and give yourself more confidence? And number two, to go to Tokyo is like Olympic is something that's so awesome, and that's not something everybody can do. And I believe that must have required a lot of dedication and a lot of discipline to reach that stage, like that really elite performance stage. So I would like to ask you, what do you think is your biggest sacrifice to reach that stage? And if you look back, do you have any regrets or anything you feel like you could have done better? Or, what are the biggest lessons you have learned to reach Tokyo 2020? So yeah, 2021, yeah. So thank you. That's all my question is.
Okay, thank you so much for your question. Those are really great questions. And also just to throw it out there, I can speak both English and Malay. So if you want to ask me a question dalam bahasa Melayu pun, I boleh jawab dalam bahasa Melayu. Please don't think that you cannot. And if you feel more comfortable using a bilingual, please use those languages. Yes, so the answer for your first questions is yes. I have always, especially during the pandemic, it really was very shocking to me because usually I've always felt a little bit nervous and also jitters before a competition, but this was something very different, and that was why I decided to go and talk to my psychologist, because I'm so grateful to have a psychologist in Institute Sukarnegara. So they do provide psychologists that you can go and talk to. But so one of the ways that I was coping was, for me, really speaking about what I was feeling was really helpful to help me with how I was feeling. So I would talk to my family, my friends, and sometimes even to my psychologist about what I was feeling and how I was feeling, and to try to figure out why, and also accept that it was okay for me to feel that way. Because yes, we are in a pandemic. Lives aren't usual. I can't go out to see my family. I can't go to the store without being worried about COVID. So it's okay to feel not okay. And I think that was really the first step, is admitting that it's okay. And I think another thing was I started doing yoga and breathing exercises in the morning, and if I felt that an episode was coming on, or I was getting nervous or jittery, I started doing breathing exercises. And breathing exercises vary from people to people, but I think a very general one is to breathe in for 4 seconds, to hold for 4 seconds, to breathe out for 4 seconds, and to hold for 4 seconds. And that really helped me. And another thing that I tried was writing my thoughts down, journaling. But I found that that was a little too much to expect because with training and everything, to add another aspect of my life was very difficult. So I just wrote when I felt I needed an outlet, and I just wrote when I could and when I wanted to. And so those are the 3 coping mechanisms that I myself tried out, and I found that my work. But I think it really is to each their own. People really, like, for me, that was there was one time I actually broke down in training. I was training and I just couldn't continue, and I just started crying because I didn't know what was happening. And I was so lucky that I have teammates and coaches who understood, and my teammate came to the bathroom, and because it was very overwhelming trying to prepare for the biggest game in your life, and because I am my worst enemy, I put so much pressure on myself to perform and do well that I kind of hype myself up too much and give so much pressure to myself that, sometimes it does go over. And I try to kind of bring it back down and say, okay, what are we going to do today? So today is to get up and go for training and go for physio and go for recovery. So that is my agenda for today. And then take it day by day. Or if you feel like, for me, I need to plan. So I actually plan my day, my week, my month. So I felt that I was more in control of it. And to answer your second question, what are the sacrifices? I guess because I have been doing this since I was 3 years old. So it was maybe time with friends. And so when I was a kid, I never went to a lot of birthday parties because I had always need to go for training. And sometimes especially when I was in sekolah rendah, I mean kawan-kawan dah tak ajak dah pergi birthday party. Sebab cakap ni memang selalu takkan pergi punya. So baik-baik tanya je. So tapi I rasa macam even though itu memang sacrifice yang saya telah lakukan, tetapi I gained so much in competing for the country, in being able to travel, in being able to do. I find that once I love gymnastics, it is my passion, and I'm so lucky to be able to be a gymnast and to be able to work in something that I'm passionate with. So I think that every step that I made, either good, there have been times where I've been injured, many times that I've been injured and in pain. I fractured my spine before, I fractured my knee before, I have torn ligaments in my shoulder, and I have fully torn ligaments in my ankle. So sometimes my ankle is a bit loose. And so that's why you see me take my ankles. And so there have been a lot of sacrifices, body and mind. But I think that I would not change anything, because every single step, every single sacrifice or pain or joy or happiness has all brought me to who I am today and what I succeeded today. So every mishap, and not qualifying for Rio was devastating for me. It was a dream but if I had qualified, I don't know if I would have gone to Tokyo. So I think that it took me many years to realize this, but I think that every single mishap that we have, it is something that we need to learn and move forward from. And in the end, it was just meant to be. Okay.
Thank you, Farah, and also thank you, Jess, for asking. And I actually agree with some of the points Farah Ann mentioned about, sometimes it's okay not to be okay. You need to take time for yourself and things like that. So thank you for the question and also answer, Farah Ann. Okay, so next on, we have Li Zixiu asking his next question.
Farah, you were in Japan, right? In Tokyo, it's called what? Olympics 2020. But it's in fact, how was your feeling then? Was it? Did you always have a positive mind? And were you very confident of that tournament or the competition?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. So during Tokyo, there were, of course, times when I was training and to getting ready for the games that I did feel not very confident because obviously in training sometimes things don't go well. My routine sometimes weren't working out. I fell, and so there were times where I felt very unconfident. I don't know if that's a word. Don't quote me on that. I wasn't very confident. But I think that is a process, and so every time I did feel that way, I decided to, okay, I need to do this training, and I need to maybe, so what the skills that are not working out, I need to train more for that to be able to build my confidence. And when I was performing in Tokyo and training there, I did feel the most confidence. And on the days that I did not, I just told myself, you know what? You deserve to be here. You've worked for this, you've trained for this, and you deserve to be here because you are the one that qualified for Tokyo 2020. So yes, some days I felt very confident and I felt great, and some days I didn't. So when I was performing, I try right now to, whenever I go out and perform for a competition, to do my very best, to give it all out there. If the competition goes well, then I'm very happy. But if it doesn't, I know that I've given 110%. And whatever the outcome, I will be proud of myself because I did not give up. I did the best that I could, and I gave it all out there. So sometimes, I don't call it fake confidence, but sometimes I know that all of us, we do feel not very confident in ourselves, but sometimes you gotta be the person who hypes you up. So you tell yourself, I can do this. I believe in myself. And I do that before I go for a competition. I'm like, I can do this. I've trained for this. Just do it like as training, and go out there and enjoy yourself. So that's how I try to cope with the competition and trainings and my confidence levels.
Thank you, Farah, and also thank you, Jisoo, for your question.
Lee, Jisoo said thank you for your sharing.
Okay, so let's get the next participant, Beatrice. She actually has raised her hand. I think one of the first few that has raised her hand. So Beatrice, would you like to go next? Hi, Beatrice.
Hi. Your story was a big wow. And also, okay, let me repeat this. I'm so happy, and it's a wow factor to hear your stories, Farah, and that you, of course, represent the artistic gymnastic. And also having you participate in the Tokyo Olympics. And hearing how you work with your trainers, the coach, with the support, psychology support system. And how you have taken it upon yourself to look after yourself in both physical, mental, and spiritual way. Oh, I just wanted to say that it was awesome to hear how you have led your life and take care of the whole proper being, mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Thank you so much. That really means the world to me, to know that I have your support, and to know that you all supported me, not even just in Tokyo, but throughout my career. It really does mean a lot to me. I know that obviously I cannot hear every single person, but I know that whenever I'm out there, I really do feel your support, and I am very grateful to have such supporting people and such amazing Malaysians behind me.
Thank you, Farah, and also thank you, Beatrice, for mentioning that. All right, so before we go on to taking questions from Zoom, we actually have a bunch of questions from Facebook Live and also Slido. So the first one from Slido is from Intan. So she asked, since Tokyo is postponed and with all quarantine and staying at home, stuff like that, did you ever lose motivation?
Yes, of course. Especially the first moment that I really felt myself losing motivation. Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Intan, for the question before I go on. It really was, especially when they hadn't announced if they were going to postpone the Olympics or they were going to cancel it. And I have worked a very, very long time to be able to qualify for the Olympics. So for me, that was one of the moments where I really did not know what to do if they had cancelled the Olympics. And it would have been very devastating. And I tried my very best to not think about it, because as we all know, we cannot control the future. We cannot control other people's action. And of course, we cannot control the pandemic. So I try my very best to not think about it and to think about, okay, so right now I am safe, I am home, my family is safe, and to think about the more positive things. But of course, even when the Tokyo was announced that they were going to postpone it and it's going to be in 2021 instead, there were of course times where training was very difficult. I wasn't feeling the best, and so I was losing motivation. But the closer that I came towards the competition in Tokyo, so the closer to the date of the competition, I felt more motivation coming because I had a goal. So that's why for me, goal setting and goal planning is very important, because I see the outcome and I know where it's going. So that was how I tried to reset my motivation. But of course, there are a lot of times that I lost motivation, that I didn't feel great, that I didn't know if I could. So sometimes I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I don't really want to go for training, but I need to go for training. So I pushed myself to go for my training sessions, to go for my physio, my recovery, my gym sessions. So that really helped me to kind of get back my motivation. So yes, to answer you, there were a lot of times where I was demotivated, but I really tried to look at more of the positive things that were happening. And that really helped me move forward and to finally compete at Tokyo.
Wow. Okay. Thank you, Miss Farah, and also thank you, Intan, for the question on Slido. Okay, so next one we also have another question from Slido as well. Question from Mia Gray. Her question is, why did you pick to be an artistic gymnast?
I think the answer is I didn't pick artistic gymnastics. Artistic gymnastics picked me. But to be very honest, I did start when I was very young. So I started artistic and rhythmic gymnastics together. I started rhythmic before, and then only artistic, but maybe like just a couple of months. So it was really for me starting, it was for fun. Me and my older sister Katrina, and we started together. And it was very much for fun. But then when I was about 6 years old, I started competing for Selangor. And then I got very excited about going for training, for going for competitions. And it really kind of developed from there. And very many years later, I am still doing it. So I think I really am very lucky to find that my passion in life, and that was artistic gymnastics. And so that's why I say the sport chose me. And with gymnastics, it's such an exciting sport. You get to learn how to tumble, especially ada macam budak-budak kan, you boleh lompat lah, mak you tak marah you lah, berguling-guling. So sebab dulu when I masih kecil kan, I kalau pergi taman permainan yang monkey bar tu, I tengok lah, kalau monkey bar tu macam tu tak apa, selalunya I terbalik. So I be parents kan, I rasa ni macam bahaya lah, so kita hantar dia pergi gymnasium lah, tak adalah jatuh tengkuk kan. So it's more of like both my parents were really very sporty, so they wanted their children to do sports. So I also did swimming, I actually learned the piano, so I did a lot of things, but in the end I fell in love with gymnastics, artistic gymnastics.
Wow, okay. And I see it was like a match made in heaven that you found artistic gymnastics. And of course, I'm sure that you have like a amazing journey ahead in gymnastics as well. All right, thank you, Farah Ann, for the answer, and also thank you, Mia, for the question. Okay, so we have one last question from Facebook Live, actually. Okay, the question is, how do you set your long-term and short-term goals? And also, where do you see yourself in about 10 to 15 years? It's quite a large question right there.
Thank you so much for the question. So how do I set short-term and long-term goals? So that really depends. So short-term goals for me, it's a bit easier for me to set these goals because I know my competition schedule, and so I usually set my goals depending on that. So I set short-term. So basically, if at the end of the year I have, so for example, I'll give you for Tokyo. So I started training for Tokyo in January to make sure that I was ready for competition in July. So that was the short-term goal. And so I knew that when I needed to start my routines, when I needed to practice my skills, when I needed to have so we call them control testing. So judges, obviously they come to the gym, but now cannot because of the pandemic. So we did it on Zoom. So all of that is how I set my short-term goals. But for long-term goals, how I set them is based on the competitions or big achievements that I want in my life. So for example, and in sports is so SEA Games, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, the Olympics, or even smaller competitions macam we have World Cups, we have maybe like Open, so macam like Singapore. So those are all games that we need to prepare. But for long term, usually it's just the bigger games because macam SEA Games is once every 2 years. Commonwealth Games is once every 4 years. Olympic is once every 4 years. So that's how we plan more long term. And I think that as a student, or even if you are already working, that your long-term goals can be set if you want to make them monetary, or if you want to, especially for student macam PMR, SPM, those are long-term goals. And short-term goals are macam you punya monthly punya exam, atau you nak belajar certain things. So katakan you want to do at maths, you want to learn a formula in 1 week. So that's a short-term goal. Tapi you punya exam SPM is a long-term goal. So that's how you kind of differentiate. And to where I'll be in 10 and 15 years. In 10 and 15 years, when I'm there, I will tell you. Okay. To be very honest, this question, I always get this question. And to be very honest, I don't really know. There are certain, so for example, I have very, very long-term goals. So I want to kind of achieve a few things when I may be like 30 or 35, but it can be very different. And I'm very flexible in trying to figure out what I want. So as an older person, so now because I'm older, as an athlete, so it's like looking at the games, and then but as a person, that personally maybe in 15 years I would want to own my own home. I want to maybe like help my parents out, and helping them in what they want in maybe like monetary value, or in maybe paying off their mortgage or something like that. But obviously these kind of things is very different, and I want to travel, so maybe one of my dreams is to travel through all of Southeast Asia and then Europe. And so those are kind of my plans, but I really don't know. And I'm actually very excited not knowing, because I think that's very exciting.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the answer, Farah, and also thank you the question from Facebook. Okay, so we're gonna take a last question from Slido before we continue on with the Zoom participants. Okay, so this is a random question from Leia. I'm sorry, I know this is so random, but do you like mint chocolate or peanut butter?
Okay, so mint chocolate. When I was younger, means macam masa I umur like 10, 15, I used to like mint chocolate. Sekarang tak tahu lah, because I actually dah lama tak makan. So last time my favorite ice cream kalau I pergi ke Baskin Robbins. Sebab dulu kan Baskin Robbins is the ice cream kan. Itu like macam kalau you ada duit kan, you go to Baskin Robbins. I would always get the mint chocolate chip. But because always can 2 tier kan, so I will always get Jamaica almond fudge and mint chocolate chip. So that was what I was getting. So macam to try to mix it lah. But tapi peanut butter. So one of my favorite breakfast is ambil roti, letak peanut butter, you ambil pisang, you cut, you letak, lepas tu letak honey. So that's like, so I think to answer the question, I guess now more peanut butter lah than mint chocolate. It's just because I dah lama tak makan mint chocolate.
I see. All right. Thank you, Leah, for your question. Also, thank you, Farah. And okay, so we're gonna continue on to the participants in Zoom. So I see we have Valerie who has been raising her hand since just now. So Valerie, would you like to unmute yourself and ask your questions? Also, don't be shy, guys. We have about 70 participants in Zoom right now, and I'm sure some of you guys have questions as well. So you can, of course, raise your hand. We have about 1 hour still for the Q&A session, so feel free to raise your hand and we'll get back to you. Okay, Valerie, are you there?
Hi. Hi, Farah Ann. I'm very excited to meet you. So I have two questions at my mind currently. One is, you started off gymnastic really young, and did you face any burnout, and how did you recover from them? The second one would be, I know at some point you had received a lot of like backlash and bashing from people who, not very good responses, and how do you stay mentally strong for that?
Okay, thank you so much, Valerie, for the question. So the first question that you asked is about burnout, and yes, I experienced burnout quite a couple of times, and actually in the end of 2000, I believe 18, I was really, really burnt out. I had lost a bit of my passion and my drive, and that was really devastating for me because I suddenly, after so many years, couldn't see myself or go or enjoying my training sessions, and that was really very difficult for me. So I was very lucky at that time because it was at the end of the year, and usually we do have a little bit of a break at the end of the year. So for a week, my older sister actually lives in Australia, so my whole family, we had a family holiday in Australia, and I actually told my family I was feeling how I was feeling. I was telling them, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I feel very tired. I feel very demotivated. I feel like I don't want to go back to training. And I actually had talks with my coaches as well, telling them that I don't know if I even want to come back to gymnastics because right now I really can't. And so my coaches told me to take the time to rest and recover and recuperate. And then I actually started training in in Australia a little bit. There was a gym there, that gymnastics gym that was actually about an hour away from where my sister lived. And I was, okay, I'm gonna go and try training there and actually kind of develop my passion again. And then I came back to Malaysia and I was very excited to come back to the gym. So there are always times, but that was one of the worst ones where I remember just calling my coach, and my coach was just saying, you know what, it's okay, just try, because next year is SEA Games. So we will just try for SEA Games and you'll see how you feel. And it did gradually get better because I felt, okay, I have a new goal, I have a new outlook. And so that really helped me out of the burnout that I was feeling. But yes, I also had a few others, especially when I'm injured. When I fractured my spine, I was out for almost 6 months, and then that 6 months out from training. I still went for training, but it wasn't the same types of training. So I only could do like physical exercises, a little bit of bars, but I couldn't jump because I fractured my spine. And the reason I fractured my spine was because I competed on it for 3 months. So that was very smart. So if you guys have pain, please go and see the doctor. Don't be like me. So, and it was very difficult coming back because not only do I need to come back, but I also need to make sure that I'm at the level that I was. And being out for so long, it took me almost a year to get back to the my physical abilities, and also like other people are improving and I'm kind of stuck at the same spot. So there are many phases, and of course I felt and then losing a competition, I think people don't realize how heartbreaking it is. So when I didn't qualify for Rio, I literally, when people say your heart shatters and it feels like your heart is broken, I really felt that. I couldn't watch the Olympics for Rio and I couldn't even hear people talking about the Olympics. I really was like locked in my room. I would cry driving to training because I felt so disappointed in myself and really thinking about what's the point of going back for training. So, but all of this really takes time. Sometimes rest, sometimes new goals, sometimes people, you need to talk to people. So that's how I got over my burnout. And the second question, yes, especially as an athlete in Malaysia, because one, we do represent the country, and the second, because of how immense social media is and how people are not like the people who are here, who are kind and understanding and ask very intelligent questions. Some people feel the need to say things that can be very hurtful and can be unnecessarily mean. Sometimes, so what I do is I feel that sometimes when people lash out, it may be because, you know, some things in their lives, there may be a lot of other things that are going on. And so I try not to take it to heart. But of course, when people say mean things about you, it can be very hurtful. And for me, it is hurtful. And sometimes I do feel, especially when people say that I don't want to perform, or I'm just going for a competition just to be a visitor. And if I wanted to go to a competition as a visitor, then I'll go and visit the country. I don't need to train 25 to 30 hours a week to go. But yes, sometimes it can be very hurtful. And what I do is I listen to the advice from my friends and family, because those are the opinions that matter to me. Because these people know me, they know who I am, they know what I do, and they are the people that matter to me in my life. So I think it was really a turning point of realizing that. And sometimes online, you don't even know the person. Sometimes they're fake screen names. You have no idea where they're from. And so yes, the comments can be very hurtful, but sometimes you just have to for me, sometimes I do delete. And because if it's not, because there's constructive criticism and there's just hurtful comments. So if they're constructive criticism, then I take it in stride and I say, okay, maybe some of these things I can better myself. But if it's not, then why do I need to hear these things when it's just hurtful negative comments? So that is how I deal with it. And I also sometimes I just shut my phone and I go and have time with my family and friends.
Hey, thank you, Valerie, for your question, and thank you, Farah, and for sharing. And yeah, I do see how, you know, sometimes you lose motivation in what you love, and yet you need time to get back to it again. So thank you, Valerie, for your question. Okay, so next on, let's have Chen Hui Sun. She was raising her hand as well. Hui Sun, are you there?
Yes, Alia.
Ah.
So, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Okay, so I want to say hi to Farah Ann. Hi, Farah Ann.
Hello.
This is my second time meet you.
Yes, I remember you from the last session. Yes. How are you?
Yeah, fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Yeah. So I want to ask two questions. So before you go to Tokyo Olympics 2020, you very like nervous or not? Or like I'm feel like I cannot win, I cannot do like that or not? And the second question, what's your favorite food?
I like the second question. So the first question, of course, I was very nervous because I finally achieved my dreams and I'm finally going for Tokyo. So of course, it's a bit of nervous energy, and I find that if you're not nervous, then you don't love what you do, because that is really excitement. So you try to take those nerves and you try to use that as energy for your competition. And yes, I was very nervous. I was worried that I was not going to perform well, or like what if something happened and I got injured and I couldn't perform. So a lot of those things came in my mind. But then in the end, I decided to kind of look at the positive, saying, you know what, those things we don't know if they're going to happen. So why focus on something in the future when I can focus on something now? So that's why I focus on my trainings. I focus on trying to get my routines as best as I could, and to just go out there and do the best that I can. Because yes, I think that everyone gets nervous, and for me, yes, I do get very nervous. But I think that I was actually very excited, and I really wanted to go out there and perform. And I haven't competed at that time since 2019 in SEA Games, so it had been almost a year and a half of just training and not competing. So I was actually very excited to go out there and compete and to finally perform my routines again. And the second question, my favorite food. Okay, so I just want to let you on a little secret. Okay, I love food, anything. Okay, it can be Malay food, it can be Indian food, I love dim sum, I love sashimi. Okay, I love sashimi. I have a very, very strong relationship with salmon sashimi. And I also love cakes. So it's very hard for me to pick one food. But I do love trying all types of food. But right now, because I haven't had salmon sashimi, I want to have salmon sashimi. Even though I was in Japan, right, which is kind of the heart of some, but because we were in the athletes village, and of course because of safety, we were not allowed to go out, and so they didn't have any salmon sashimi in Japan. So a bit disappointing, but it's okay. I will get some here in Malaysia. Delivery is still open.
Okay, thank you, Huisan, for your question, and thank you, Farah. And actually, I agree. I think it's something with girls, like we just love food, and every time we look at food, we're just like, oh yes. Okay, so we're gonna be moving on to the questions from Slido first, and we'll be continuing with those who are raising hand. But before that, okay, now it's my turn to ask my question. Who is your favorite athlete that you've met at Tokyo Olympics?
Okay, so that is a very simple one. Is Simone Biles. And
Oh yeah.
so for I see all the people are excited on the video. So if people who don't know who Simone Biles is, she is the GOAT of gymnastics. She is the greatest of all time. She is not only an amazing athlete, she's an amazing person. She really has a heart of gold, and she is really one of my idols because of what she stands for and what she fights for, what she believes in. And also her gymnastics is amazing. She is not human. I don't know where she was
She's
born.
like flipping around.
Yes, she's not human. I, as a gymnast of 25 years, I'm so amazed at what she can do. Sometimes you cannot even imagine how hard the skills that she does. So I obviously, we didn't really get to interact because the US team did not stay in the athletes village because they did have a COVID case, but not in their team. So when you go for Olympics, especially if you qualify for a team, so I qualified as an individual, and so you can actually also qualify a team. So the top 12 teams in the world, so the best in the world, qualify for the Olympic Games. And as a team, you can bring 4, but you can also bring reserves for your team. So they also brought reserves, and one of the reserves actually got COVID. And so that's why the US team decided to stay out for the safety of others. But obviously, if y'all don't know, we actually, when I was in Tokyo, before I left, I had to take 3 PCR tests. When we arrived, we have to take they have a saliva test. So you have to take a saliva test. And of course, you have to make sure that you are negative. Then only you get to go into the country. Then every single day, you have to do a saliva test in the morning to make sure that you are negative. And also that was a bit scary because you don't want to train all your life to go there and not be able to compete, because obviously if you are positive, then you are taken out and put into quarantine. So I actually saw her training because we are not in the same subdivision. So I was in the subdivision with 2 teams. So the teams that I was with Spain and France, and then we had the mixed group. So a lot of different other countries are with me. So US, so Simone Biles, she was in the subdivision before me. So we would like kind of interact where she would go out for training and we would come in. So I did get a photo with her. I didn't really get to talk, but in that very the 2 seconds that I asked for the photo, she was very nice, because you have to understand that after training you're very tired and you just want to leave, and you're also worried because you want to be safe and you don't really want to interact with other people that you don't know. So she was very nice, and I took a picture with her and the team, and overall it was just amazing to see such an amazing athlete. And of course, I think all of you know that she was unable to perform because we have the twisties, and as an athlete I do have that. I do understand, because so what it is that your body, your mind kind of shuts off and does not allow your body to do things. And it is so scary, because I have that as well, where so for example, it's like your hand, your mind tells you to clap your hand, and then your mind's like, no, you cannot, even though you know that you can, but your body just physically cannot. And that's what it is. And it was so amazing for her to think of a team and to know, that she couldn't, and to protect herself and her teammate, she decided to pull out. And I think that is one of the most amazing things as an athlete to do, and such a brave thing to do. So I was so excited. I've seen her before in other competitions, but this is the first time I also was quite shy to ask her. My coach was like, Farah, go and take the photo. I was like, no, she's busy. They're like, Farah, go and take the photo. So I also, okay. I plucked up my courage and I went to ask her for a photo, and she was really nice.
Wow, thank you for answering that. And I love seeing the sportsmanship that you mentioned between all the athletes in Tokyo. Okay, so now we're gonna continue taking questions from Slido. So we have one question from Anonymous. What keeps you going? This is a short one. What keeps you going?
So this is very short. Thank you for the question, but it's also a very loaded question. So especially as an athlete, competitions and performing and training really was what kept me going, because I knew that each training session was going to bring me closer to my goals, and each training session would bring me closer to the competition. And this competition was going to was what I needed to do to achieve my dreams and my goals. So really it was always, and also training, sometimes, yes, they can be very difficult and sometimes can be very tiring, but training gymnastics is amazing because you get to do new skills. And sometimes for me, I'm always very excited, even though I can do the skill, but once you perfect the skill, or so for example, the balance beam, when you stand your whole routine and you don't fall, it really is very exciting, because okay, yes, I can do it. And so that really motivates me to do better. And even on days that I don't do good, that motivates me more, because I'm going to go for my next training session and I'm going to perfect this and I'm going to do it better. So those really, really motivates me. And also my family and friends, when I myself cannot motivate myself, they're the ones who always keep me going. They always have words of encouragement, or sometimes they also have, they push me and say that, what, Farah, stop talking negatively, you can do it. And so there are a lot of times where I need the push, sometimes I need motivation, and I'm very grateful to have such an amazing team and friends and family and coaches that really, really help me, because without them I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the athlete I am. To be here, it takes, as people say, that it takes the whole village. It really did, I think, take the whole country to get me where I am today. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Wow, thank you, Farah Ann. And also thank you to the anonymous question from Slido. Okay, so the next question is actually highly voted in Slido. So here it is. Salam sejahtera Farah, saya merupakan warga pendidik sekolah rendah. Apakah nasihat anda kepada mereka yang ingin mengembangkan bakat mereka dalam sukan?
Okay, terima kasih untuk soalan tu. Memang saya selalu dapat soalan ni, especially untuk yang kat sekolah rendah. So macam saya punya journey, saya memang bermula untuk gimnastik. So siapa yang berminat untuk gimnastik, di Kuala Lumpur atau actually di setiap negeri memang ada gym, ada gymnasium yang setiap negeri ada coaches. So kamu boleh pergi ke gymnasium, tanya jurulatih dan tanya kalau mereka ada camp bakat, atau mereka bila dia punya selection punya komiti untuk membuat pilihan untuk masuk ke sukan gimnastik. Atau di Kuala Lumpur memang banyak kelab yang kamu boleh pergi, kamu boleh join, and then dan daripada situ memang even di national team mereka ada selection committee. So kalau kamu pergi MSSS, pergi MSSM, memang jurulatih di national training camp mereka akan lihat, dan kalau kamu berbakat mereka akan panggil kamu untuk pergi ke selection camp untuk national team. Dan untuk sukan yang lain, macam saya punya kakak, dia actually masuk 3 sukan. Dia masuk gimnastik, olahraga dan juga synchronized swimming. Kakak saya memang hebat. Ingat saya hebat, saya tak hebat, kakak saya lagi hebat daripada saya. Kakak saya actually masa SEA Games di Palembang, dia menang dalam satu pertandingan 5 emas. 5 pingat emas. Saya pada tahun Filipin, baru saya menang 7 pingat kan, sebab dia ada 6 emas. Di Filipin baru saya dapat lepas dia punya emas punya medal tally tau. Kakak saya, walaupun dia dah retire pun saya tak lepas-lepas lagi. So untuk di sana, sebagai seorang guru, kamu merupakan satu tonggak untuk kamu punya especially atlet atau student, sebab mereka akan pergi dekat kamu. So di sekolah saya dulu, masa sekolah rendah, saya ada guru-guru yang sangat they were very caring. So macam saya cakap, saya ada pergi training, saya tak dapat, sebab dekat sekolah rendah dan sekolah menengah kan banyak kan kelas-kelas tambahan. So saya selalu tak dapat pergi, tapi cikgu saya sangat memahami sebab dia tahu saya pergi ke kelas gimnastik, dan itulah yang sangat penting untuk saya. So sebagai guru, kamu kena bagi sokongan kepada mereka yang nak jadi atlet. Sebab saya tahu memang ada ibu bapa dan guru yang ingat sebagai kamu tak boleh dapat kejayaan sebagai seorang atlet, tapi sebenarnya kamu boleh. So untuk orang yang nak pergi, so memang di dalam sekolah, kalau olahraga senang. Di sekolah kan ada MSSS dan MSSD, MSSS, kalau kat Selangor dan MSSM. Tapi untuk sukan lain, memang ada di setiap negeri mereka ada majlis sukan negeri sendiri. So Selangor ada, Kuala Lumpur ada, Negeri Sembilan, Terengganu, semua ada. So pergi ke tempat latihan tu dan tanya macam mana anak saya nak masuk sukan ni semua. Sebab kamu sebagai parent, kamu yang kena pergi tanya. Yalah, takkan nak suruh anak kamu yang umur 5-6 tahun pergi tanya. So kamu kena berikan sokongan yang terbaik untuk anak kamu. Sebab memang saya di sini sebab saya punya ibu bapa, dan sebab mereka hantar saya pergi training, mereka pergi dengan saya ke pertandingan, dan sebab itu saya boleh percaya. Sebagai ibu bapa, kamu kena sentiasa beri sokongan kepada atlet atau anak kamu, tapi jangan push. Sebab kalau kamu push mereka, kamu paksa mereka tidak akan lakukan dengan baik. Sebab mereka lakukan sebab ibu bapa, bukan sebab mereka nak. So itu sangat penting. Dan sebagai atlet, saya ibu bapa memang sentiasa memberikan saya ruang untuk pilih. Saya nak jadi atlet ke, saya nak berhenti ke, saya nak sambung main ke, semua mereka bagi saya decide. Memang masa kecil, ialah kena hantar dia orang pergi training, kadang-kadang nak tak nak, ialah kadang-kadang itu tak apa. Tapi jangan kalau mereka nak berhenti, mereka beritahu kamu mereka nak berhenti, kamu tak bagi. Itu lain. So sebagai guru, memang please call you punya, memang ada sport center di semua, dan tanya mereka macam mana. Kalau gimnastik, macam saya tahu setiap negeri ada tempat yang kamu boleh pergi dan tanya. Dan kalau tak, kita pun ada association. So untuk Malaysia, Malaysian Gymnastics Federation, untuk setiap semua ada, website ada, you just boleh pergi ke Google, just type in Gymnastics Federations or whatever federation yang you nak masuk. Memang information tu ada, please call and ask.
All right. Thank you, Farah, and also terima kasih for the question just now. Okay, so the last question from Slido before we continue on to the participants who are raising hand in Zoom. Okay, from Anis Afika. You're so pretty, Farah. Do you have any fashion tips, perhaps? And also, how do you manage your image as an athlete? Sending you love. Sorry, I'm a bit shy to ask using my voice.
Oh, never mind. Thank you so much for the question. So, any fashion. So I am mostly in sports attire. So my fashion is t-shirt, and so selalunya saya suka pakai Nike, and especially if you're a woman, their sports bras are amazing, their training shirts are amazing. I love wearing dry fit. So dry fit, I feel actually even training in the gym, kalau you lift weights, kalau you lari kat luar, kalau you nak fit, amazing. Kasut pun amazing, but also other than that, if macam real fashion lah. So I like to experiment in my clothing style. So kadang-kadang, but also I like to be very comfortable. So I cuba untuk pakai baju yang sesuai untuk badan saya. So make sure that it fits. Make sure, I think yang paling penting, make sure you feel confident and you love what you're wearing. Jangan ikut trend. Kadang-kadang yelah, and everyone has different body types. So kadang-kadang maybe macam kakak saya pakai baju tu I rasa cantik, tapi I pakai tak cantik. Does not mean that you are not beautiful. It just means the outfit doesn't fit. Itu je. Okay? So I think I love to experiment, and I like kadang-kadang pakai dress, kadang-kadang pakai jeans, kadang-kadang pakai coat. So I like to experiment. I suka pakai color. I like yellows, and I love like flowers. And then kadang-kadang if I'm hari tu macam tak nak dress up sangat, I like to sometimes senang just pakai like black. So like a black jeans and a black shirt. Very rare lah. I don't really like to wear black. So it really depends. Sorry, what was this? She has 2 questions. Right? What was the second question?
Yeah. The second one, she said, how do you manage your image as an athlete?
Okay. So actually, this is something very new to me in the sense as I'm older now and as I've gotten more acknowledgement from people. So when I was younger, I didn't think about it at all. So it was very much of kind of acting the way that my parents taught me, which was to respect people, to respect my coaches, my teammates, my friends, to be kind to others. So my parents, especially my dad, dia jenis orang yang macam kalau dia pergi mana-mana, dia tiba-tiba boleh cakap dengan siapa-siapa. Kadang-kadang kita berhenti dekat nak bayar tol tu pun kena lama sikit sebab dia nak bercakap dengan. So it's like he's so friendly, and I learned to emulate him untuk macam cuba to be friendly and to smile and yalah senyumkan sedekah. So it really helped me to smile to people and to learn to speak, because I was never really actually I used to talk a lot so masa kecil lah. So I nak cakap, I tak banyak cakap tu macam tipu sikit lah. I dulu memang suka even in school buat macam drama, buat presentation. I lagi suka buat presentation daripada buat admits lah. So I love doing that more. So when I got older and as more people grew to know gymnastics, grew to know me, I think just those values just carried with me, where I respected the people who supported me. I respected my fellow Malaysians, and I tried to be the best version of myself, which means that not try to put on a fake face or like, oh, I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm very clumsy. Kalau you tanya I kadang-kadang jalan you bayangkan the beam so small I boleh jalan, and then on the kat lantai I boleh jatuh. So I'm not perfect. So kalau you ingat I tak tahu. It's just more of just being myself, and I think that's how I want to be, and that's how I kind of not that's me. It's not an image I put on. That's just me, and those are the values that I carried over on my online persona and with people I meet. And so that I guess is how I kind of take care of it. It's just being myself. Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Farhan, and also thank you, Anis, for the question. Okay, so now we're going to continue on with participants on Zoom. Okay, Kai Jie has been raising his hand for quite a while now. All right, Kai Jie, would you like to ask a question?
Hi, I'm Kai Jie. Hi, Farhan. First of all, I would like to thanks for all the athletes, the performance during in all the games, and really all the games are really amazing and fantastic and really inspiring us a lot. Okay, we as Malaysians, we really quite unite lah. Maybe in watching all the Olympics games especially during the pandemic time, right? Because we are all staying at home. Okay, now I have 2 questions to ask. Okay, first, how do you change your mindset when you are facing downs, or maybe you are facing challenges such as losing in the games, or maybe you lose your motivation during the practice? Okay, then my second question is, what things makes you most proudly as Malaysians? Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Those are amazing questions, and thank you so much for your support. And I'm so happy to hear that that the Olympics really united us as a nation, and that's why I love sports. It's because even though whatever you're going through and wherever you're from, that you can sit in front of TV and you can support us, and it really makes you come together is something that I am so happy to be a part of. And thank you so much for everyone being a part of that as well. And so for your first question, yes, sometimes it is very difficult in training, but it's always very important to remember that one bad day isn't a bad week, isn't a bad month, isn't a bad year. And sometimes we do have bad days, and that's okay. And also, for example, if the bad day for macam as training, sometimes that one skill, the first day you do tak jadi, then you do again also tak jadi, and then sometimes you try and try and try and you fail and fail and fail and fail some more. But each time that you fail, you're learning something new. So that, okay, I failed this way, that means I'm gonna fail this way, or I'm gonna try something else. I'm gonna try something until one day you succeed. And you learn that actually all those failures weren't failures. They were just the stepping stones that you needed to get where you are. And so that kind of mindset really helps me to know that every single thing that I do, either good or bad, it really is something that comes together in the end to make me to believe more in myself. I think that quote that I have, and when people ask me what is my favorite quote, is really believing in myself, believing in your dreams and believing in your goals, because you are the most important person in your life to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you for you, because you are the one who wants to, for example, get 11 plus A's in SPM, or even not. That's not the most important thing. Or maybe you want to run in the Olympic Games, you want to run 100 meters, or maybe you want to build your own business, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a CEO of a business, you want to become a doctor, an engineer, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to be a influencer, whatever you want to do, you are the first person that needs to say, I believe in myself, I want to do this, so I will take every single step, bad or good or terrible. But these are all the steps that I need to take. And we will not always succeed. And we will not always fail. So for me, there was one point in my life where every time we have like, what if I did this? What if I won? What if? And so we always kind of make it very negative. We're kind of like, what if, alamak, what if I fail? What if I jatuh? What if I don't win? But try to change it and say, what if I win? What if I get there? What if I do my best? What if I become who I want to be? And so that kind of mindset change really makes your whole life be more positive, and it's a shift in mindset that really helps. I know you asked a second question. Can you please repeat your second question?
Oh yeah. Sure. What thing makes you most proudly as a Malaysian?
Yes. So I think the one thing that makes me the most proud as a Malaysian is sitting here and looking at all of you. You are all different. You are all from different races, you have different belief systems, you have different culture, you have you are maybe biracial, and you may love different types of food, and we have so many things to offer as a Malaysian. And I'm so proud because we can all sit here and be respectful of each other, respectful of our cultures, respectful of our religions, knowing that we are all Malaysians, and that is what Malaysia represents. It is not that you or someone is better than it's not. And I'm so proud to be able to represent that, to be a Malaysian, and to say, as we have amazing food, we have amazing people, we have amazing cultures, and that is such an amazing thing to represent as an athlete, to be able to say I am from Malaysia and look at what we have and what we have together, and that what makes me the most proud to be an athlete and to be a Malaysian athlete.
Thank you, Farah. And
Thank you, Kaichir, for your question. Also, thank you, Farhan. I agree on what you mentioned, Farhan. Like sports, food, there are a lot of things that unite us as a Malaysian. And coincidentally, Merdeka Day is coming up, I think, in a few days. So hearing you speak about how, us Malaysians come together to support each other and bring each other up is amazing. Okay, so we have our next participant. We have Isan. Would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, thank you. Hi, Farhan. So I have a question here. If one day, inshallah, Malaysia award you a very honorable title, which is Dato, I'm wondering what is the thing that you will do that you couldn't do before this? Once you achieve the title of Dato, then you can do this. I'm wondering what is it?
Thank you so much for your question, Isan. I don't think titles should kind of define who we are. And I'll be very grateful if one day the country decides to award me the award. But I don't think that we should live our lives because of title, because I think that we as people are so much more. And if I ever get a title, I think that what I can do is to bring more awareness about sports and how sports unite us, and about how especially like gymnastics is such an amazing sport, and to kind of bring that, to shed that to light. Because I know in Malaysia, yes, sports is amazing, we have so many amazing athletes, but I know that not everyone has the opportunity to, one, be involved in sports, to have the apparatus, to have the, I guess the most important thing is opportunity. And obviously I'm so lucky that my parents, we were based in Selangor, and there was a gym, Shah Alam, that was very near, and so I was able to pursue my dreams. But I think I would want to have and to help to create more opportunities for everyone, no matter where you live, no matter what your cultural background, and no matter what your economic background is, that the opportunities are there. If you want to have them, then you should be able to go out there, and to, if you want to be a runner, or you want to be a gymnast, or you want to do cycling, badminton, or anything that you want to be as an athlete, that you are able to do so wherever you are. So I think that that would be something that I would be very interested in. It's something that I'm working on right now, and hopefully with the opportunities that I have come by, that I am able to spread that right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isan, for your question. And also, just a reminder to all the participants about Asian chicken rice when asking a question. And I absolutely love all the questions coming in. They've been amazing. And also, to only ask one question, because we actually have a lot of participants raising their hands. So we want to give everyone a shot at asking questions today. All right, on to the next one. We have Nurul Afika. Would you like to unmute yourself?
Sure. Hello, Kak Farah, and it's happy to see you here. And congratulations for your performance in Olympic. I'm really proud to see your performance in Olympic so much. And as my question, oh my God, I'm actually nervous and I'm really sorry. How do you cope the mistake if something happened during your performance, especially in Olympics? Because during our performance, sometimes things wouldn't come as like we think before. So how do you cope of it? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question, Rafika. And please don't be nervous. And it was very brave of you to ask the question, because I know that sometimes, even before coming onto this Zoom, my heart was beating. I was so nervous to come in and talk to you. So I do understand that, we all are nervous, and I'm very proud of you for asking the question. And so, yes, sometimes things don't work out, especially at the Olympics. Sometimes we make the mistakes, and sometimes, we want to do better. But for me, during the Olympics, I was telling myself, you know what? I am going to do my very best. And sometimes, yes, you fall, or some things don't go your way. But because I have 4 events, so I have to make sure that I finish all my 4 events. And I cannot allow myself to feel upset and kind of demotivated. I have another 3 more events that I can go out there and do my very best at. And this is the moment. You've trained your whole life for this, and we have to seize the opportunity. and to go out there and to show everyone who you are and what you've worked for your whole life. So that was really kind of the positive mindset. It's okay. You have to just move forward, do your best, move forward, and don't think about the mistake, because one, you cannot change the past. You nak ke, you doa macam mana pun, you tak boleh nak tukar. You cannot change it. So what you can do is you can change what is going to happen next. You can change your mindset. You can think, okay, I'm going to perform better. I'm going to do my best. I can change my positive attitude. Yang itu kita boleh tukar. Tapi the mistakes tak boleh tukar. Lepas tu kalau kita fikir pasal tu pun, kita cabut rambut kat kepala pun dia takkan tukar. So that is something that, especially at the Olympic Games, I trained my whole life 25 tahun for the one. I punya performance kurang 5 minit je. Yalah, I buat Anipamba tu maybe like 20 saat. Buat balance beam tu 1 minit setengah. Proses saya 1 minit setengah. Vaulting tu 10 saat. Kurang daripada 5 minit I perform untuk 25 years. This is my friend. So I'm not going to waste my opportunity and to waste the moment. So I'm going to take everything in stride. Walaupun jadi ke, tak jadi ke, I'm going to go out there and do 110%. And so that's what I did.
Thank you, Farah.
Thank you.
So thank you, Nurafika, for the question.
Sure.
Okay, on to it. Let's see who else we have. Chang Xiu, are you there? Would you like to ask a question?
Hi, Farah. And may I ask you, why do you study in the university? Because as an athlete, you will be very busy with the training and competition. And how do you have the time to focus on the studies?
Okay. Thank you so much for the question. Yes, so I actually I graduated in university. I have a degree, a Bachelor of Arts and Social Sciences. I have a major in International Studies and a minor in Communication and Gender Studies. And so my parents always instilled in me that studies are very important. So it was always 50-50, to always focus on my studies and to always do my very best in my sport. And yes, it was very difficult. And it was also something that I learned very young, that time management is very, very, very important. So as I told you, like just now, during sekolah, so when I started training when I was very young, so I was already training at the national team when I was 8 years old. So I would go for school in the morning from 7 till 1, and then I can pergi training from 3 to 7. And then masa sekolah menengah, it's even more intense. I had double session trainings, I had school, I had homework, and then I went to university where I have assignments and exams. And so, but that was why time management is very important. So I knew that, okay, I have this much time in my week. So I have my trainings, I have my assignments yang I kena siap that I need to finish, and then I also had exams to study for and also to go for competitions. So I knew that at that point of time I would set for myself. So usually in university, every Sunday and Saturday afternoon for me were just finishing up assignments and studying for my exams, and also then Monday to Saturdays were trainings, and then at night I tried to finish my assignments as good as I can, and also enough sleep. So yes, it wasn't easy, but I think that if you want something and you want to achieve something, then you will do everything that you can to achieve it. And so I wanted a degree. I wanted to finish my education. I wanted to learn about international studies, about communication, about economics, about gender studies, and I wanted to have these knowledge. And so that's why I chose to complete my degree, to do my best. And I was also very lucky because I had amazing friends and lecturers and teachers, and I asked if I couldn't cope. So if I went for a competition and there's an assignment due, that was something that I couldn't do. So I did go for ask my lecturers that I'm very sorry, but I have this competition. Can you help me, or can you give me a little bit of extension? So it was very much a communication between my lecturers, and also in Bukit Jalil, I was so grateful to have such amazing teachers, and we would have extra classes, or if we needed help, they would actually one-on-one with us. So it was really taking time and effort to make sure that I needed to complete all the things that I wanted to do. And so that's why I chose to both get my education and also to have a career in gymnastics. Because I think that if we want something, we can do it. We're not just one thing. We can be multiple things. So that's why when I was explaining who I am, I'm a friend, I'm a graduate, I'm an athlete, I'm a student. So I'm all these things. And we as human beings, we can be so many things if we set our mind to it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jiangxiyu, and also Farah. And talking about time management, I feel like it's very important, especially a lot of us here are still young. So like we kind of take time not that seriously. So yeah. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes left. Unfortunately, we aren't able to take all the questions. There are still about 5 participants who are raising their hands. So we're gonna take last 2 questions. And guys, I'm not being biased when choosing. I'm choosing the ones who raise hand first. All right. So now let's get Adib to ask this question. Adib, are you there?
Yes. Okay. Hi, Farah Ann. It's very my pleasure to meet you. I'm kind of nervous right now. Okay. So I was hesitating myself, but my question is, what is your comfort movie? Yeah, the one that you always go to. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Adib. And I'm so proud of you for asking the question, even though you're very nervous. So my comfort movie is The Greatest Showman. So I love musicals. So that was something, if I want something to just watch, I would just put it on. Or if it's a series, I am currently on Bones or Friends. So those are kind of something that I would just put on, and macam you don't really want to think, you want to kind of just like immerse yourself in. So those are the ones that I will go for.
Okay, thank you, Adib, and also thank you, Farah. And all right, next one, let's get Nur Hafiza for a question.
Okay, hi Farah. You are my inspiration. I'm actually nervous and excited. My question is, what did you do to make yourself not giving up easily and keep working hard to achieve your goals? Okay.
Thank you so much, Nur Hafiza. So I think one of the most important things to make sure that I move forward and was goal setting and knowing what I wanted to achieve. So I always wanted to make sure that I did my very best at competitions, was to qualify for the Olympics, was to graduate from university. So all those goals really helped me push myself on days where I really didn't want to push myself, because I knew that every single step I needed to do was in order for me to achieve my goals. And so that was something that really helped me push myself, because I knew what I wanted. And also, yes, it's very important to push yourself, to do your very best, but also to take time for myself and to say that, sometimes it's okay. Maybe that one day I need a little break, so I'll take a rest. Macam I understand that, everyone here are students, and sometimes it can be very overwhelming. Yalah, dengan online studies, you're all at home all the time. You have Zoom classes, you cannot see your friends. So it's okay to take time for yourself. And for me, one of the things that I do kalau I study is I will set a timer. So I will put 20 minutes. So I say, okay, in this 20 minutes, I akan cuba siapkan I punya kerja. So then I can say, 20 minit je. I buat untuk 20 minit je. Takkan tak boleh buat 20 minutes. So I do that. But sometimes when I do that for 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I can do this. So you kind of continue, but always take breaks. So I usually sometimes when I was doing major assignments, it's like 5-6 hours of typing on the laptop. I always make sure that I took like 5-10 minutes break to go straight to either like stretch out, to stand up, to take those breaks. And as an athlete, we have to train every day. So I couldn't take a break from training, but was to tell myself that it's okay. Some days are good, some days are bad, tapi it's all a process yang is in order for me to achieve my goals. So that was how I pushed myself, to motivate myself, to make sure that I kept on moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Nur Hafiza. Also, thank you, Farah Ann. All right, so there are actually 2 participants left who are raising their hands. So we'll just take the last 2. Okay, next, let's get Gayatri to ask their question.
So, hi, Kavara. Nice to meet you. So my question is, as you told that you're passionate about sports, right, gymnast, like as already passionate about sport, what other things that you have been passionate about? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gayatri. That was a very, very interesting question. Yes, obviously everyone knows that I'm passionate about gymnastics, but I have a advanced license in scuba diving. So I love to scuba dive. My whole family scuba dive, so I love beach holidays, and I actually am very passionate about women empowerment or empowerment of children in sports. So I am very passionate about teaching people that sports is an amazing opportunity and also amazing for yourself. Even if you don't want to be a professional athlete, it's amazing to just take up a sport for your health, for fun, especially when you're kids. It really teaches you a lot of values of teamwork, of working together, of getting back on your feet. So I'm very passionate about talking about these things, and especially about women empowerment, because being a female athlete, there have been times, of course, that there are certain things that are not in favor. So I think that it is really up to us to make sure that we stand firm on our beliefs, and I feel very passionate of making sure that everyone has equal opportunity in sports and also in life. So those two are some of the other aspects of my life I'm very passionate of. And also, as I have mentioned before, food is another passion of my life. So that is very important. And also family and friends. I am very grateful to have all of them in my life. And yeah, those are things that I have been like kind of working on in the background. And I hope that, as I said before, that to kind of open up more opportunities for kids, and even kids, like anyone on any ages, to pick up a sport, to go out, to cycle, to have fun, to play badminton. It is very important. And I think that those are the things that I'll be working on in the future as well.
Thank you, Farhan, for the answer, and thank you, Gayatri, for the question. All right, now on to the last question from the floor. Let's get Alia Husa for your question. Alia, are you there?
Yeah, hi. I'm sorry if my question is quite random, but I searched and I cannot find the answer.
Okay.
What's your favorite animal?
Okay, thank you. I am very excited about this question. Nobody has ever asked me this. Actually, yeah, I don't think anyone
I have
ever-
searched and I cannot find the answer.
Yeah, wow. I like this. They do such, and now you've gotten the opportunity to ask me. So my favorite animal is cats. So I have currently at home I have 6 cats. All my little babies.
Wow.
To be very honest, when I was actually doing this presentation, I was presenting it to my friend, and I was like, "Oh, I'm a mother." And my friend's like, "Is there something like what?" I was like, "Oh no, I'm a mother. I have 6 cats." So I love cats. I love all animals in general, except for snakes. I do not like snakes.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
understand. Sorry, what were you saying?
Definitely. It's yeah.
Yeah.
It's a scary creature.
Yeah, because like so snakes, I know that they are not slimy. I know they have scales, but to me they're very slimy, and I don't like it, even though I know that they're not slimy. So I don't like snakes. But if you dare me to touch a snake, I will touch a snake. If you dare me to hold a snake, I will. So I'm very competitive. But I don't like snakes, and I don't think that they are pets. So I'm so sorry for all the snake pet owners out there. I do not understand why you keep snakes as pets, or any reptile, to be very honest. Okay, they're not supposed to be in the home. I'm so sorry. You may not agree with me. It's okay if you don't agree with me, but I think pets need to be furry, like cats. Cats are pets. I love cats. Quote me on that.
Yes, thank you, Farhan. And also thank you, Alia, for the question. And I see a lot of people are in the chat box also agreeing with what you mentioned about snakes. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen now. All right, and that wraps up our Q&A session for today. So now for you guys who weren't able to ask questions, so what are your thoughts and feelings after listening to Farah and sharing? You're allowed to, let's get a few participants to raise up their hands and perhaps open up their mic to share. Let's see if anyone's raising their hand. Anyone like to go? Or you guys can type in the chat box as well. Come on, guys. Anyone want to share? All right. Alia mentioned that it was very insightful. Intan was like, oh God, very inspiring. Okay, maybe let's get one person to perhaps unmute their mic and share about what they feel about the session just now. Would anyone like to go?
Can I go?
Sure, Isan. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
To be honest, I like the way that Mrs. Farah Ann is sharing the story because it's like she's very energizing when sharing the story. So we're like happy to hear it. We're very excited to hear it. Every question that we've been here, every answer that we have from Mrs. Farah Ann, we're very excited. We're very like giving us realizing us about what happened to the EdTech actually. What is the EdTech situation right now? So it's kind of giving us a bit reality about the EdTech. Thank you, Mrs. Farhan, for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Isan, for sharing about how you felt about the session. All right, let's get the last participant to share. Gayathiri, would you like to unmute yourself?
So hi. Okay, what I get from it is it's very motivational and inspirational for me that everything that Farah say that it's okay to be cry, it's okay to be not okay, but just keep going no matter what happened. It's okay to fail. Fails because of me need to get up again and go again. Yeah, that's what I get from it. I just feel very inspirational and motivating me a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Gayathiri. And of course, thank you everyone who were sharing in the chat box. Also, Aimi mentioned I can't stop smiling because Farah is very cute, humble, and inspiring. Wow, that's amazing. All right, so besides Isan and Gayathiri, we will also want to know what are the other participants, what you guys have learned from today's session. And also for Facebook participants, we also want to know what you've learned from today's session. So you guys can scan the QR code here to fill in the exit ticket, or you guys can press the link in the chat box as well. All right. So other than this is actually the first Kita Connect session, and we have such amazing guests with us today. So we actually have future Kita Connect sessions that will be going on as well, and we might have different guests coming on. So you guys can actually join our Kita Connect Discord by clicking the link or scanning the QR code. So a little sneak peek to the next Kita Connect session, we'll be talking about youth chat on Unity. So if you guys want to check out future sessions, make sure to join the Discord server and also sign up as soon as possible for the next session. All right, so coming to the end of today's session, let's say a quick goodbye to Facebook Live. Goodbye, Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us.